Okay, get our agenda up here and we'll get started.
You have to push screen share on the Zoom. Oh, over here. Yeah, if you open that. And then the green button.
There we go. Okay, so welcome everybody to the May 23rd, 2023 board meeting for the Thurston Conservation District Board of Supervisors. With us tonight, we have all of the supervisors. That would include Helen Wheatley, Doug Rushton, David Ayal, and Betsy DeVreda. And we have also some staff with us tonight. We have our executive director, Sir Moorhead. We have our administrative person, Sophia. And it looks like we have Jean Fike from the State Conservation Commission. Hello, Jean. And so welcome, everybody. We will take a look at our agenda here. Are there any changes to the agenda? We made a couple in the work session, but is there anything else we need to change on this agenda, board or staff?
I have one comment to make, TJ, on the agenda. I think there was a miscommunication on our end before the agenda sent out. In my board report, I alluded to an executive session that was on the agenda related to my mid-year performance review, which is not on the agenda that made it out to you. So I'd love to put that on next month's agenda so we can appropriately advertise, but I apologize that was removed before it got sent out.
Yeah, I thought it was a typo because we do have another executive session scheduled, and I thought it was supposed to be on that topic of your performance.
Yeah,
but
I think there was a miscommunication with putting our packets together.
Okay, that sometimes happens. So we will note that next month we will have an executive session, which will be Sarah's mid-year performance review preliminary discussion. So with that, no other change. Go ahead, Helen.
So does that mean that we don't have an executive session tonight? Is that, is that off?
Yes,
Like,
we do not have an executive session tonight.
And it's not on because the copy I have has it, but that's been removed, right?
That's been removed here, right? Oh,
No.
should be removed
Oh,
here.
there. Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. So let's take that on.
Let's strike item 8. And then with that taken out, we need a motion on our revised agenda.
I move that we adopt.
Okay, it's been moved by Helen. Is there a second?
I second it.
Wow, everybody's jumping in here tonight. I think I got Betsy there first. So Betsy's our second. So we'll vote on the agenda here. Helen?
Aye.
Betsy?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
And chair votes aye. So we've approved the agenda. That means we go to our consent agenda. Tonight we have 2 items on consent. We have the work session and meeting minutes from last month. And we have our financial report. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
I move to approve the consent agenda.
Moved by Betsy. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Helen. Voting on consent agenda. Betsy?
Aye.
Helen?
Aye.
David?
Aye.
Doug?
Aye.
Chair votes aye. We've approved the consent agenda. Item 4 is public comment. This is the time at which any member of the public can address the board for up to 3 minutes on a topic of interest to them and the district. I don't think we have a member of the public here tonight, but I will stop here and ask, is there anyone who wants to offer comment under public comment? Okay, hearing none, I will close the public comment period. And we'll move into partner reports. First up here is NRCS. Sarah, is there anything to report there in terms of progress on a human being filling that position?
No updates so far from folks at InterCS. I know that that's in the works though, and I think we're anticipating somebody in the nearish future, but yeah, that's about it.
Okay. Then we'll move to item B, which is Department of Ecology. Our agenda says Hannah Coe, but I'm betting Travis Casey is here tonight to give us that update since I see his face in the picture. So welcome, Travis. You're up to tell us what's going on at Ecology.
All right, well, thanks for having me. Yeah, let's see here. Well, there's kind of been a large restructuring within Ecology's water quality sections statewide. I don't know if Hannah's mentioned this in the past month or so. So essentially they're redoing all the units and there's a lot of shuffling going on and employees moving around, employees taking different positions. So currently, myself and Casey Vaughn are the only non-point water quality specialists in the non-point program. Hannah Coe she accepted a position as the non-point and TMDL policy lead. And our other non-point specialists accepted the CAFO permit writing position. So yeah, right now we're just trying to fill out our team. And in the meantime, I'll probably be the one you'll be seeing. So let me see, since last month, I believe we've only received one ERTS in Thurston County, and it had to do with some livestock that had access to Scatter Creek. And so I'm actively working on that case with the CD, with Marguerite specifically. And I think that the first technical assistance letter just went out this week, yesterday. So just kind of waiting for a response in the meantime. And I think that's all I've got to report. Feel free to ask any questions since this is kind of the first time you're probably seeing me.
So just to clarify, you said that there are 2 non-point people right now. Is that statewide?
That's for the Southwest region.
For the Southwest region. Okay, good. That's what I was hoping you were going to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's still
Good.
a little tight, but we're doing our best to make it to all these meetings and have feet on the ground still and hopefully fill all those positions. I think we have 5 openings coming up.
Okay. Well, welcome. Thanks for joining us here and hope to see you again next month. You're free to hang out as long or as short as you want in our meeting this evening.
All right, thank you.
Yeah. I just saw a note from Doug that he might have something to report with NRCS, but I'm going to suggest, Doug, that you do that under your WACD and NACD reports. And
Okay.
that we move at this point to State Conservation Commission and hear what Jean has to tell us tonight. Hello, Jean.
Hello, everybody. Nice to see you again. Hi, I have just a couple of things and then I'm happy to try to answer any questions you might have. As you're probably aware, this is the time of year when we're madly trying to resolve the biennium that's just finishing while preparing for the biennium that's coming up very soon, sort of busy on both fronts. So the fiscal staff in particular are busily closing out contracts, taking in final billing for projects, and I'd ask you to be a little extra patient. I know you're patient folks, but please be extra patient with folks in the fiscal staff because they're pretty far underwater right now. We're trying on the RM team to help them as we can, but there's only so much we can do. And then you're aware, I think, of many of the programmatic guidances are out for review or in various stages of review. I want to thank your staff for providing some really helpful input into several of those that I've seen and probably several others that I've not seen, but some very insightful comments and some really helpful input to help us do a better job in the next biennium and set districts up for success with the new monies that are coming in, to try to get our processes as district friendly as they can be, given that it's state money and there are some rules there, but to try to do a better job making that easier for districts. So thank you for that comment that we've already gotten, and more that I expect we'll still get. So thank you. You're probably tracking the hiring process for our next executive director. The process is underway to engage a firm to assist the commission. We don't have a lot of internal capacity, and we don't do executive director hires very often. So having a firm should help build some expertise and capacity into that process. And so they're going through the state process that's required for bringing on that firm, and are hoping that once they're engaged, they can hit the ground relatively quickly and get that process moving. Some adjustments were made to the hiring committee at the last meeting of the commissioners, and so that should be firmed up and ready to go. Another development at that meeting I wanted to make sure was on your radar was, so you may remember, so Sarah helped with development of the request to OFM for the CTA money. It's also called implementation money. This is that core foundational funding that the districts receive from the commission. That's very, very flexible and isn't tied to projects. And it's something it's always in short supply, and especially with all this additional project money, it is especially critical. And we did well with OFM, that it was in the governor's budget at the level we requested, which was 10 million. And then somewhere along the line in the legislative session, something went sideways and we only ended up with 1 million additional. And so the conversations are, and the commissioners have blessed the effort to go to the supplemental, to the interim session, the non-budget session. It's called the I'm blanking on the term. Sorry, you know what I'm talking about. Somebody will remember the term for the upcoming legislative session. That is not the full session. It's the
Supplemental.
I got it right. Okay, thank you. Session. So to ask for the at least the amount that we asked for originally, and that the governor's office originally supported. With this amount of project funding, districts really just need a more secure base of funding underneath them if they're going to reach for that kind of project dollar figures. So we were glad that the commissioners supported that ask, and we're hopeful that the legislature will as well. The OFM was supportive of the ask, so that's a good first indication. Those were the things I had a note of. Is there anything you were wondering about that I might be able to answer?
Yeah, I was wondering one thing. I learned last week that Ron Schultz is having continued health challenges, and I was just wondering if you have any update about how he's doing.
Yeah. Thank you for asking about that. So yes, initially it was very, very scary. We we had heard that he'd had a stroke and he was hospitalized, and with his health history, of course, we were extremely concerned that his life might be in danger. We heard not that long afterwards that he was talking to folks and was able to move about, and it would be getting encouraging news, but he's still not well enough to return to work. And I haven't heard anything detailed about a prognosis, but he was texting people and talking with people and taking visitors and that kind of thing. So I took that as a very good sign. But I had sort of feared the worst when I first got the news. So I was very encouraged that folks that were visiting with him were finding him to be Ron. So yeah.
I concur with that. I've gone to see Ron several times.
Oh, good.
And he gets tired.
Yeah.
He's still making sarcastic comments, but he gets tired. But the prognosis is, I think, a positive one, although quicker would be good.
He is missed. Thank you for thinking of him, TJ. Appreciate that.
Yeah, and if you have a chance to talk with him, please tell him that we're all in his corner and hoping to see him get a full and rapid recovery.
Feel like that. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thanks, Jean. With that, we'll then move to the last of our updates here, Doug, NACD and WACD and maybe NRCS, the whole bag.
Yeah, NRCS, these are notes from what I took when Roylene Rides at the door, the state conservationist was speaking. She said they're shooting for 175 NRCS employees in the near term. They've got something like 140-ish right now. She said eventually they want to get up to 289. That's a lot of people. Second item, she's negotiated with the commission to fund 17 positions through the commission that would ultimately be in CD. So I thought that was pretty cool. And thanks to the commission for kind of enabling that. On the WACD front, another commission thing is with inflation and increased costs, the commission's going to give WACD 10% more than we got 2 years ago at the last budget. So that's good news. That's still to be negotiated. Nobody signed anything yet, but appreciate that partnership. And also our budget committee, the WACD budget committee is meeting next week to figure out, okay, how much money do we have left for this year? And how do we want to set it up for next year? We're pretty much set up for next year, but this is basically an adjustment thing. And you've got my full report both for WACD and NACD in the packet.
Okay, thanks, Doug. Questions for Doug about any of that?
I have a quick comment.
Yeah,
I put in a request to WACD to participate in the long-term sustainable funding committee again. It's another renewed request, and so Ryan mentioned that would be passed on to either the WACD board or President Mumford to make the final selection decision.
Well, you can consider it passed to the board. I'll bring it up again.
Thank you. I have a lot of
I did point out that resolution did come from this district.
yeah. Given that, it seems fitting that we would be at the table for the committee. Thanks, Sarah. Okay, if there's nothing further on partner reports, we'll close that and move on to item 6. We have a resolution 2023-03 about fee reimbursement. We talked about this and worked on it a little bit in the work session and agreed that it's ready for action here in our public meeting. So is there a motion on this resolution?
Okay, I move that boy, we don't have the name of it exactly beyond that we support.
Well, I think it's fee reimbursement, but we have the number.
Okay,
But there we go.
yeah, reimbursement of attorney's fees incurred by supervisors.
Okay, it's been moved by Helen. Is there a second?
Second.
Was that David?
Yes.
Okay, David got the second. Okay, so we will vote on this resolution. Helen,
Aye.
David,
Aye.
Doug,
I recuse myself.
Betsy.
Aye.
Chair votes aye, so we've passed that on a vote of 4 ayes and 1 recusal. Thank you. Get back to our agenda here. There we go. That puts us on to item 7, a couple of things that we bumped from our work session. So the first was a legislative update. We did get something in writing from the commission recently, and we heard a little bit from Jean as well. Is there other updates on the legislative front that anyone can offer?
Yes, for WACD, at the top of my WACD report for this month, there is a link to go to the WACD budget update and legislative update page.
Yeah, okay.
I guess I will also add one thing, and that is that we are discussing doing our end of summer, beginning of fall sometime legislative tours. Our legislators have continuously expressed post-COVID wanting to get back out on the ground and see things and meet people and have good conversation about all the great work we do. And we're overwhelmed with so much support during this legislative session that we really want to do that. And so stay tuned for more information and updates in the next couple of months as we kind of plan those dates and opportunities. And of course, your engagement is paramount.
Yeah. I have a question on the legislative front, and I'm not sure, maybe Gene, maybe you have insight into this, but I lost track of where the urban agriculture study was in the process. Last I heard, they were looking at it as a budget proviso to conduct a study on opportunities and challenges for urban agriculture. But I don't know, did that make it into the final budget as a proviso or not?
I believe it did. Yeah, I don't remember the amount though.
Oh, okay, well, that's great. I have volunteered to be a part of that work group, talking to the Office of Farmland Preservation when they start to put that together. And with the blessings of this board, I hope that they will choose me to be a representative, both as a small farmer and as a representative from the district in that study process.
Sarah, are you
Okay.
checking that? I remember that right?
What's that?
I thought I saw a look on Sarah's face, like maybe I had gotten that wrong.
No, I am looking for that language just to put some figures to it, but nope, that's my understanding.
Thanks.
Okay, good. All right, great. Thank you. Then with that, we'll move on to board updates. I will, I guess, start at the top of my screen here. Helen, do you have an update?
No, nothing much happening with TRPC we need to know about.
Okay. David,
I do not have anything tonight.
Doug,
I also don't have anything to add tonight.
okay. Betsy.
Zippity doo dah.
Well, I have two things, both of which are relatively short and fun. Thing one is Sarah and I have been talking a little bit about the annual picnic, which we've been doing in summertime the last few years. And I have offered to do it here at Urban Futures Farm again, but if other people, other board members want to host it, I'm not going to stand in the way of doing that. We have kind of keyed in on a potential date of Tuesday, September 5th. That seems to be a good date for our staff and seems to be a good date if we're going to host it. But I'll stop there and say, do folks want to do this again? Is that a good date? And do you want to have it here at the farm again, or do you want to do something else?
You're set up very well to host it. I always enjoy going there. There's plenty of parking. It's close to my house. It's just set up really well, I think.
I really enjoy having it at your house too, TJ's. If you don't mind, I'd appreciate it.
No, we like hosting, but I also don't want to be the guy that just always throws the party either if other people want to do it.
And I still haven't made it, so I would love to come.
All right. Well, you got lots of time to get in your calendar this year, Betsy.
Being
And is that
calendar and getting there are two different things, but yes.
That's true. Is that date Tuesday, September 5th pose any challenges to folks at this point?
There's an NACD Pacific Region meeting that starts at 4 o'clock on that day, but I can cut it short and get over to your house at 4:15.
Yeah, what time do we usually do it?
I think we've started around 5 in the past. Is that right, Sarah? Kind of an after work thing?
It's usually about 4 to 6.
4 to 6. Okay. All right, well, we'll say at this point, September 5th, Tuesday here, 4 to 6, details to come.
Thank you.
Sure. And then speaking of being set up for large events, the other thing I wanted to share with all of you is we are having our 3rd annual Farm Fest Music Festival here at the farm the last weekend of July. We've got 10 bands over 2 days, and it's a super fun event. And this year we're doing it as a fundraiser for the Community Farm Land Trust. So we have a handful of tickets left before we're sold out. So if anyone's interested in coming to hear some great music and supporting the Farmland Trust and just having a good time in the community, you can go to our farm website, urbanfuturesfarm.com, and you can see the bands and you can get a link to the tickets. And we'd love to have you be a part of it for a good cause and good fun.
Great.
Is there opportunity, TJ, if you can't go on that particular day to send money?
You can always send money directly to the Farmland Trust. We'll keep it at that.
Okay,
Yeah, and all the money that we take for tickets either goes to them or to the performers. This is not a moneymaker for us. It's a community builder and just a chance to celebrate the community. Okay, then that moves us to our executive director report.
Great. I will also probably be brief, but one of the things that I wanted to have some conversation about is just an update, really an update on the vehicles at TCD, the reoccurring theme, vehicles at the district. 2 exciting pieces is we've now been funded for 2 new vehicles. Thank you, State Conservation Commission. We are nearing the final stages of procurement for our engineering vehicle. We're very excited about that. And we've also been awarded a smaller amount of funding for an education and outreach vehicle, which we're already dreaming up some fun decals with our logo to put on the outside of. Both of these couldn't come at a better time because not only are they new vehicles with different functionality to serve purposes that we haven't been able to serve yet, but we are, as we move to a new location, looking at surplusing some of the vehicles that are in constant disrepair. So just as a heads up for the board, those are likely some things you're going to see on your upcoming surplus lists are some of the older trucks and things that we've had for many decades that are now broken beyond a point where we can fix them. So I just wanted to heads up on the board. You're gonna probably see some large checks coming in for signature in the next couple of weeks as we procure those 2 new vehicles with the funds from the State Conservation Commission. Those funds need to be spent by June 30th. We have no problem doing that. Thank you again. And those are 2 large checks that you'll see reflected on the next couple of monthly financial reports. So just a heads up.
Okay. Is that it, Sarah?
That's really the big update for this evening. Yep.
Okay.
training and important disclosures.
Yeah, Doug was just encouraging a reminder from me about the OPMA and public disclosure training. I put that in my board report last month. Jean also sent out an email earlier this month as a reminder. Those of you that haven't done that are encouraged to do that, and then fill out the little link in Jean's email to submit that you've actually done that. Yeah, Helen.
I did one for the planning commission, so am I good? Or do I need to do this one?
Yeah, you have to fill out the attestment form with the date that you completed it.
Okay.
So you still have to fill out the form for the commission, but you don't have to watch the video again. Jean's nodding.
We did it live, actually. It was full on.
Okay, thanks for the reminder. I'm one of those people that has yet to do that and know that I need to. So thank you for the reminder. Okay, with that, we deleted our executive session, so we are to the end of our agenda here and I think ready to adjourn the meeting if there's a motion to do so.
We have the work session, June work session topic.
Oh, I'm
listed.
sorry, I skipped right over that. Thank you, Sarah. I was looking beyond that. So yes, our work session and meeting agenda for June.
And then, yeah. You got it, and then we'll just.
There we go. Okay. So there's our work session topic list. Much of the same stuff we had this month, but a slightly different staff presentation here, it looks like. All right, comments on that, questions?
Well, wait, is there gonna be more?
Yeah, you can take number 4 off of that.
Yeah.
And is there likely to be anything on legislative?
Probably not.
We could probably add more on the office relocation, another update on that.
Yeah, it
process.
sounds like, yeah, let's do that. Sounds like there'll be some developments there.
Maybe a weight update?
Okay. All right, scroll down, look at the board meeting here. Typical session.
Probably want to change Hannah's name.
Yeah, it sounds like we should put Travis Casey down there for at least for now.
Yeah.
Okay. We added the executive session to,
We need to change it, the topic.
Yeah. so yeah, item 7 should be executive session to discuss performance of a public employee, and we can put the correct citation in there. And then item 8 is a separate one on real estate to talk a little bit about where we're at with CEC and property search. Okay, anything else? Sarah, there's nothing to look at with the mid-year budget update there. Do we do that in July?
That's correct.
Okay, so
So-
that'll be,
Did we, I don't know if Sophie is the one editing or if Sarah's doing it, but you mentioned that RCW is different for item 7.
yeah, we'll have to get the right RCW and the correct topic there around performance of a public employee.
Okay.
But we know what we're gonna do. That can get cleaned up. Okay, looks like we've got draft work session and agenda for June. Now I think we're actually to the point where we can go back to tonight's meeting to take a motion on adjournment.
I move we adjourn the meeting.
Moved by Betsy. Is there a second?
Second,
Seconded by Helen. We will vote on adjourning our meeting. Betsy,
Aye.
Helen,
I
Doug,
Hi, and thank you for a well-run meeting.
you're welcome. David,
Aye.
and chair votes aye. It is 7:03 p.m. We are adjourned for tonight. Thanks, everybody, for efficient, productive work session and meeting. And we'll see you all next month, if not before.
All right.
Good night.
Hey, have a good one.